chosen. This ain't love, it's the favor that's on me. I can trust that you'll never leave me lonely. You supply all my needs, I ain't ever hungry. Yeah.
Good morning, y'all. Happy Thursday. I wanted to just have like a little, I'm not gonna say a rant because it's not a rant, but it's just kind of like maybe a message from, I'm gonna say a message from God, like just, I don't know what to really call it, but it's like maybe it's, let me just tell y'all what happened. Okay, so I lost my job about a year ago. So the job I was working for, they relocated, and obviously I wasn't willing to relocate to where they were going because at the time my oldest was in her last year of school. And so I'm like, I mean, common sense, I'm not going to, to relocate when she's getting ready to graduate. So when I started looking for a job again, I'm a single mom, okay? So I'm a single mom, 2 kids. And it's like, okay, I don't have a job no more. I automatically just went in grind mode. Like, I'm always in grind mode, but I really had to get into grind mode because, like, that was my main source of income. So when I was looking for my job, I was doing all these applications. And a lot of y'all might have been there before or currently there now, like where you just applying for all of these jobs. Nothing is landing. And the jobs I were applying for, I was definitely qualified for. Even the jobs that I applied for that I wasn't 100% qualified for, I felt that I was qualified enough to get these jobs. But, whatever. So I end up landing a job, right? So the job, I'm still there now. I've been at my current job for a year, which I'm actually headed to. I just dropped my little one off. I'm headed back home to get clocked in. I'm there, I'm still at this job. Talk to people every day, dealing with numbers, government. It's a government job. So I'm dealing with, government documents. So I'm talking to people. Even though I am very much a people person, like, I don't like being attached to a phone all day. Luckily, and thank God, people that I have came across having to deal with have been some of the nicest people that I've, had the opportunity to interact with. Every now and then you will get, a couple, rude people. But it was never anything that, like, really affected me. And I'm not going to say every job because I've been in the government sector for a very, very, very long time. I am ex-military. So I know how the government works. Outside of my military experience, I've never had like a civilian government job. Mind you, I'm used to a certain pay. So I'm still, I have still been applying for, jobs because I feel like, you still put yourself out there. Don't get complacent in just one job if you know that that's not like where you want to be. And mind you, when I took this job, it was not something that I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna be here for a long time. That was my plan. But I have to understand that my plan is not God's plan, So here we are a year later. I'm still, at this job. I have been applying for other positions, doing interviews. So which leads me to this situation. My brother sent me this job, and like he was telling me, he's like, I think you would be really good for it. Definitely qualified, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I reach out to, the like HR department per like the instructions with the job. And I think it was the same day, either the same day or like the next day, they emailed me back and was like, we love your resume. We would love to do an interview with you. So I'm like, okay, cool. I do the interview, ace the interview. I'm really, really, really good with interviewing, So God has blessed me with the spirit. I don't know what you want to call it, but he's blessed me with the ability to be able to interview well, you know. So I aced that interview. I'm like, okay, cool. And they were like, we think you would be, you know, a great person for this position. I'm gonna send it over to this person, you know, they'll want to do another interview. Okay, no problem. They're like, you know, when would you be available? In my mind, I'm like, shoot, I'm ready to get up out of this job, because it was like, right now I'm fully work from home. So this job was hybrid, so it was 1 week on, 1 week off. I still get the opportunity to work from home. Like, I'm just not really into like going back into the office. Like, I will, but you know, I like working from home. It benefits me. So right now, because my oldest is in college, I only have, it's just my car. She doesn't have her car yet. So I take you know, my little one to daycare, you know, when my daughter has to go to school, when she goes to school 2 days out the week, and then when she has to go to work, there's a car that's there, because normally, like, her school hours are during the day, so during my work hours, and when she goes to work, it's normally during the work hours as well, during my work hours as well. So this job was one hybrid, 1 weekend, 1 week off. The days that I have to go into the office, which the office was literally like 8 minutes from my house. So I'm like, if all else fails, my oldest can just take me to work on the week that I have to be in office, and you know, we still good. They sent my information over. They reached back out and was like, okay, hey, are you available to do an interview this day? Yeah, no problem. So the day that they wanted me to do the interview, it coincided with the hours I was still at work. So it was literally like, the interview was at like 4 p.m. I get off work at 4:15. It's no big deal. I can just, you know, clock out a little bit early, get myself together, because at first it was going to be an in-person interview, and then they changed it to a Zoom interview. I only got to be professional from here up. So, you know, they like prepping. Okay, make sure you do this, look professional. All the stuff that, you know, common sense. Be professional, look this way, blah blah. But I know everybody don't got common sense. I can clock out of work. I don't have to go. Now I don't have to go into this place. I'm already at home. I just gotta look professional from the waist up. Make sure the wig is laid, got the professional blouse, all of that. They send over the information, more about the job, you know, just, you know, the certain things that they want you to talk about when you do the interview, all this other stuff. Okay, no problem. I already know what to say, but I'm like, okay, I got you. Here comes the time for the interview, y'all. From what they were telling me about this company, very professional. I click on the Zoom thing early, you know, military motto, if you on time, you late, you know. So I click on the little Zoom thing early, so I'm sitting there waiting. The lady comes on the screen, y'all. She comes on the screen, she looked like she just came from working out. When I tell you sweat, like she might have just dapped her face. When I tell you she was red, she had her hair pulled back, and like she had, you know, y'all can see the little band I got on. She had a band like this and her hair was pulled back and she was red. She looked like she was flustered. And she had on a, like this. She had like a little, like a shirt like this on. She's working from home and you can see she's standing up, like, you know, typing. So, you know, I'm looking super professional because this company is professional. This job did not require me to be on the phones. It was a lot of back-end escalation type stuff, okay? Company alone, you would think that the person that I'm going to interview with would present themselves as such. But, okay, you know, don't judge. But it just threw me off because the preparation that they were trying to give to me did not meet the expectation that from what I saw. So that was the thing, right? So, you know, I'm like, okay, that's weird. You know, that's real weird. She ain't professional at all. But, you know, I'm doing, you know, so when she gets on, you know, the thing, mind you, she was late. I'm like, all right, she already got the job. I am looking for the job. I'm trying to get the job. So whatever, I did my part. So then when she gets on, you know, she introduced herself, and then I kind of felt like it was rushed. Like, granted, it was the end of the day, but y'all set that time up, right? So then she was like, you know, hey, tell me a little bit about yourself. You don't have to go into detail on your resume. So I'm like, I'm prepared to like sell myself. You know what I'm saying? Because I know how to do this, right? So I'm telling her about myself. I do go into my resume because I want you to know that this position that I'm applying for, like, I know what to do. I do this, you know, I does this already, okay? And yeah, the lady literally asked me like 3 questions. My interview was at 4 o'clock. We were done at 4:15. Done at 4:15. Like, when I'm telling her, you know, she do the tell me about a time, the, you know, those questions, those dumb questions. So I'm telling her, like, I'm going in depth, like, I'm giving her examples, because it's all pertaining to my current position. Mind you, they know that I'm currently working right now. They know this. So I'm going into detail about, you know, my experience. And normally when I do an interview, yeah, like, I'm good at reading people, but I'm really good at reading people when I do an interview, because 9 times out of 10, you like feed off of each other. And so when I'm like, you know, giving her all these examples, I'm talking to her, you know, she's just like, oh, okay. Like, she's typing. So I don't know, maybe, I don't know. It was just weird. Like, I just couldn't get a good vibe from her. Like, I didn't know, like, are you feeling me? Are you not feeling me? You know, then she, at the end, like, she started, like, you know, going into the position some more, which I already knew, because I had asked well, I had the information from, you know, before when I applied for the job. And then I had asked the first person, you know, to go, you know, more in depth about the position, so I could, you know, have an understanding, like, the company, read up on the company, all of that. Which is a well-known company. So, like, hold on, yeah. It's a well-known company. So I already, like, you know, kind of knew about them. I mean, she was nice, but it was just like, I could not read her. So I don't know if anybody has ever had that experience where it's just like, girl, give me something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, give me something. Like, let me know what's up. So then the interview, like I said, was like 15 minutes. And I'm giving her those extra 3 minutes. It probably was like 12 to 13 minutes. So I'm being nice, giving her an extra like 2 to 3 minutes. I didn't have her direct information, but the first interviewer that I had his information, and so I reached out via email, let him know, you know, how the interview went, everything. And so I was talking to my dad, because, you know, I had told, you know, my mom and daddy about this job opportunity, because they know that I've been looking for something, you know, that pays a little bit more, because I mean, as you all know, like, things are high out here. Life is really lifing. And so I've been looking for something. And the interview was done, I think it was like a Wednesday or Thursday. Mind you, they were looking to fill this position by next week, by August 14, 15, something like that. So I'm like, okay. And when they first reached out to me, I'm like, you know, I currently work, so I would like to give my current job, you know, the respect of giving them a 2-week notice. Like, I just, you know, don't like leaving jobs just abruptly. Now, I have, and it had to be a situation where I was like, I'm just through. But I let them know, like, I would like to get my job at least, like, you know, a 2-week notice. The next day, I was expecting to, you know, hear something back, you know, pretty soon, because they were needing to hire somebody. Let me park right here before I need to get some breakfast before I go home. You know, I was expecting to hear something back, you know, Thursday, Friday, like, before the weekend hit. Didn't hear anything. So then Monday, I reached back out, and I'm just like, hey, you know, have you all heard anything? You know, I don't know, maybe they went with another candidate. So they were hiring 3 people for this position. Actually, what he told me that they didn't hear anything back from me, but they did get responses for some other people. So he was like, I would just assume that they probably not going to move forward. So for a split second, y'all, not for a split second, I'm lying, maybe for like 2 to 3 minutes, I was just like, okay. But before that, after the interview, because I couldn't read her, like, I was so unsure. Like, I was talking to my mom and daddy, because they were asking me about, you know, how did the job go? And I'm like, you know, I'm telling them, I'm like, I believe I did a great job. She just wasn't reciprocating, like, she just wasn't communicating enough. And it just wasn't a lot of like, you know, majority of the interviews that I have been on, it's always like, you know, we conversating. We having a conversation. This lady, she just was not, she was like, okay, okay. And then that was really it. So I was already a little like, I don't know, like, Ashley, I don't think you got it. Like, I can't read her. Like, I don't like not being able to read people. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially in those type of situations. So when they told me that, you know, went with somebody else because, you know, they haven't gotten back to us, I mean, I would just, you know, go back on the job board and, you know, just try to see something else. So for like a little minute, like, I wasn't upset, but I was like, dang, you know, because the money that they were paying, like, would have set me up. You know what I mean? Really would have helped me out. In those little few minutes, I'm like, okay, because I was at work. You know, I think I was on my break or whatever. I was at work, and I was just like, dang, you know. Now, the communication from, you know, the HR people, it was through email. And so after that, I was just like, all right. So I just stopped thinking about the job. And then I was like, you know what, Lord? Rejection might be the protection. You know what I mean? I had to stop and just start thanking God for the opportunity, thanking God for my current job, thanking God for everything that I currently have, because God blessed me with everything anyway. He blessed me with everything anyway. So I've never been homeless. I've never been hungry. I've never been without. And I want, like, right now I'm sitting in my car. So side note, I was in a loaner car for 3 weeks because my car started having issues. And when I took it to the dealership, they were like, yeah, this is what's wrong with it. It's going to cost about $4,000 worth of work. I don't have $4,000. Not saved, not available for me to write a check, none of that. I don't got $4,000. And I just, me and my parents, especially like my dad, just start praying about the situation. If any, my parents are praying parents. And my daddy, he's one of God's favorites. My mama and my daddy, but my daddy, like, I'm a daddy's girl. My daddy is one of God's favorites. I know for a fact my daddy is one of God's favorites. And because my daddy is his child and I am God's child, like, I'm one of God's favorites. And I don't want to get, like, you know, like, teary-eyed, but my car needed to be fixed and my warranty company didn't cover it. Insurance didn't cover it. You know, I ain't had nobody to be like, hey, you got $4,000. Basically, what I'm saying is, the company that I bought the car from, it was a third-party dealer. You know, when they heard about, like, it's not being covered, this, and that, yeah, they covered every expense on my car. Everything. I ain't have to pay for nothing. They told me I had to get my car towed to 2 different places. Well, to one place, and then they couldn't fix it. Then I had to get it towed to the dealership where I bought the car from. And the dealership paid me back for my towing expenses, and they paid for everything on my car. Everything. So I know God favors me and my family. So when I didn't get this job, I sat for a moment. I was just like, you know, dang, I was a little crushed. But then I just went into praying mode, y'all. I went into praying mode, and I'm just like, God, thank you anyway. Thank you for this. And that could have been, like, my situation, the fact that my daughter uses my car for school and work. You know, I don't have to put wear and tear on my car. You know, my job, even though it's not paying me what I would like to make, is paying enough to where I can stay off the streets, right? So I had to start thinking about that. You know, be thankful for the things that I have now, because there's people that aren't even in my shoes, right? And so I'm just like, dang, that rejection was probably my blessing. Because then I start thinking, like, okay, Ashley, if you did get this job for 2 months, you got to be in the office for this training. How your daughter gonna get to school and to work? I don't like, you know, Uber and Lyft, especially for long distances, to where she would have had to go for school. I mean, it's not super long, but I don't feel comfortable with my with my daughter being in a Uber or Lyft. I don't even be in those. So if I would have gotten that job, she would have had to do that. Or I would have had to ask somebody in the family, which they would have done, no problem. But I don't like inconveniencing other people. You know what I mean? I would have been getting off later than what I currently am now. And then I just would have, I would have got the money. But, my daddy always told me, always do write down the pros and the cons. You know what I mean? So, that job wasn't for me. Maybe that job was for somebody who really, really needed it. Then, if you watch my first video, I talked about how long I've been wanting to do YouTube, right? So then it's just Ashley, you at home. You can create content at home. You can get more consistent on your YouTube. If you're in the office, you can't be creating office content. They ain't finna allow you to have no camera up in there, especially with the position that you were applying for. You could only record at home. And if you already be tired when you get off of work. So imagine leaving the office at 5-ish, going to pick up your little one, still got to do, cook dinner, all of that. I know it's possible because I know that there are people out there that do it, but we're talking about me and what works for my life. Think about what you could be doing if you're not in the office. You wanted to, and then I was like, okay, God, maybe God wants me to be stagnant right now at this job, because this job gives me the flexibility to do what I need to do for this YouTube career that I want to have, right? So I just had to think about that, and I just wanted to come and tell y'all, I'm so new at this YouTube, and I'm a big YouTuber. I don't knock nobody to say, oh, that I'm a small YouTuber. In real life, technically I'm a small YouTuber, but I'm a big YouTuber, and I need to start walking in it and saying it. I'm a big YouTuber. I want to reach people that God puts in my path, puts in my life. People, I pray to God and I ask him, because here's the thing. I don't believe in manifestation, and I'm not knocking nobody that does, but I'm a Christian. I'm a praying Christian, right? So I don't believe in manifestation. I believe in prayer. Now, there are things that incorporate manifestation, but I believe in prayer. And if you want scripture, Matthew 21:22 and Mark 11:22. Mark 11:22 and Matthew 21:22. So I believe in prayer. I believe in faith. I believe in doing good and listening to God. So I just wanted to do this video because it was bothering me at one point. And I'm just like, Ashley, I feel like when I get ideas and I hear things, I'm like, it all comes from God. Everything comes from God. I don't know, conscious, all of that, whatever, it all comes from God. So it's just look, talk about this situation, because maybe this situation will help somebody else. Maybe this situation will get somebody some faith. And even if it don't, talk about it to get it off your chest, because I just really feel like God protected me from that situation. And I hope that, I think my camera's going dead, but I hope that this does, just help somebody out. So I gotta go get my breakfast from Bread Co. or Panera. I think it's Bread Co. in St. Louis, but Panera, and get to work. So I hope you all have a blessed day. You all don't be discouraged if something doesn't happen right now. It's always on God's time. Be safe, be prayed up, and as always, spread positivity and be good to one another. Alright, love y'all. Peace.
Cause I'm chosen. This ain't love, it's the favor that's on me. I can trust that you'll never leave me lonely.